Hello, friends and family. I just want to start this by saying thank you very much to all of you who have been supporting and keeping up with my life and work here in Metro Manila, Philippines, with servants to Asia's urban poor. And especially right now, in our communities, barangays Holy Spirit and Commonwealth of Quezon City, um, we have gone through a lot of changes. And I know all across the world we're living in an unprecedented time with the COVID-19 pandemic, and this is something that has affected all of us. Um, but for us living and working with an urban poor community, we are seeing how there is a very big disparity in how this pandemic and how the ensuing laws and economic changes uh, disproportionately affect our urban poor neighbors negatively. And what this has looked like is because the president has put the entire Metro Manila area under lockdown and enhanced community quarantine, that has meant that public transportation has been suspended and many people are out of work, especially in our community. A lot of our vendors, a lot of our jeepney drivers, tricycle drivers are no longer working. And the problem is because all these people only earn day to day and are living hand to mouth without any work means that they aren't able to buy any food and feed their families. And so for the past 3 weeks, families have been going hungry. And it's just like my neighbor said, one of my neighbors said, we're not going to die of corona, we're going to die of hunger. Um, that is a sad reality that a lot of poor families here are afraid of. And because of how the president has designated the task of relief efforts, he has charged the least capable and least funded levels of government, the most local levels of government, which is our barangay. Um, he has given them the immense responsibility of feeding all of the people who aren't able to work and feed their families anymore. And because of that, these levels of government are struggling. Our local leaders in the community are struggling, and no relief has made it to our area. There have been so many people asking when are they going to receive help from the barangay, our local government, from our city government. Nothing yet has happened. And so our organization in the time being has tried to do some relief efforts with our neighbors and with community in the areas where we know community leaders. We've been trying to organize relief efforts in this time of waiting for the government to do something. And what this has looked like is recently we just partnered with a community leader to distribute some bags of food to 116 families. These bags just had 4 kilograms of rice, some sardines, and instant noodles. We were able to feed or give bags to 116 families, and hopefully that will last them a few days. Um, this effort alone cost us nearly $600 and US dollars, and so um, we obviously can't keep doing things like this because that is just one area in our entire community, which there are at least 8 or 9 more sections with about 116, 100 plus families. And because we are very limited as an organization, especially when it comes to financing relief efforts, we really rely on our networks to be able to help us out. And so that is why I'm making this video. in hopes of being able to ask you all to give whatever you can to our direct relief efforts. I know there are a lot of things going on, especially in the wake of COVID, and different kinds of fundraisers going on. And I really, really ask you to please just give to one of these efforts. It doesn't necessarily have to be this one, but please give, whether it's to our frontliners in the hospitals, in the clinics, or if it's to efforts like this to the poor. And I can tell you, as someone living here who is seeing it up close, our poor neighbors are really struggling, and they just cannot work and they cannot eat. And so at least hopefully in the next few days we can provide some relief to as many families as we can. And so this is a bit of an urgent ask in that you can give whatever you can. The information will be provided in this email or in the description of this video for you all to give. And 100% of your giving will go directly to the people we are helping. And so I really just hope that you all can do this to whatever it is your capacity, and that really this can be an act of protest and a call to action for our government leaders whose actual job it is to help people in these types of situations, calling themselves public servants, and yet we still do not see them. It seems like if there is no election coming up, they're nowhere to be found, even when there's crises like this going on. And so hopefully, with more and more efforts like this, we can see our officials move. And of course, for us as an organization, we are trying to minimize moving around as much as possible. We try to follow rules about staying inside, going home during curfew. But we also know our neighbors are really struggling. And we can be at home comfortable, self-quarantine ourselves, social distancing ourselves, but our neighbors still don't have anything to eat or barely getting by with what little they have to eat. So please, if it is in your capacity to give, I really ask and beg of you to give to our neighbors because they need it. My people are struggling here, and we just need some help. So please, whether it's just $20, that's 1,000 pesos and can go a long ways in being able to feed some families. And they're just really simple things that they need, and we're calling on our government to provide those things. But in the meantime, while those things are nowhere to be found, we ask that all of us together can provide that for our community and for our poor and underprivileged and marginalized neighbors. So thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you for following what we're doing, and I will be sure to update you all on how things go. Thank you very much.